but I'm so distracted because I've got work and this and schedule and this and all the things. All of us will go, yeah, I'm so busy. I'm just so busy. I'm so busy. And so we don't actually know that this is an opponent. We don't actually know that this is like up against the thing that we want most. What do? We accommodate our level of connection to fit the narrative of distraction. And then we wonder why we're frustrated in our relationships. So clearly what I'm going to train you to do within your relationships, or really any goal, is to go, okay, if this is what I want, and this is what's going to try to steal that from me, then I got to hold the line here. Boundary. See what I just did there? Boundary. And I got to get aligned with, even though I don't feel connected in this moment, doesn't mean that I can't bring connection to this moment while holding the boundary line of distractions, while holding the boundary line of guilt, while holding the boundary line of judgment. Hey, distractions, you're not actually invited into this conversation. Hey, judgment. Hey, critical spirit, you're actually not invited into this conversation right now. So here's what we have to do. Remember, peopling is hard. Remember, and we do this a lot in the book under protest. And if you haven't read it, that's okay. But the idea here is try to take her face off the equation. And the victim mentality is kind of like that narcissist word. It's such a sticky word that we're losing the whole point. So we're going to learn to not use words like narcissist or victim or all these things, because there's no transformation there. So if we say, what is the thing that has the heart of the person who's walking as a victim? Perfect love casts out all shame. You is her shame. You're like, what am I supposed to be doing? Unconditional love, but not when you're, especially when you're doing that. Now, is there a 1, 2, 3 step guide on how to set that boundary? No, there's not, Wendy. That's going to be for you and the Lord step by step. But now we know the opponent's not her. It's the shame that has her heart. So here's heart sets that you guys have to know as we go into this month. We are going to wade these waters, because again, when I say peopling is hard, from the depths of my spirit, I want you to know that when I say hard, I mean it. Because some of us have had a lot of trauma in these relationships. We have boundaries that are continued to be stepped over. We continue to hit our heads against that door of connection because it's not happening. And we've tried a million times. I mean, you name it. There is a lot to unpack here. And here's what I also want you to know, guys. I do this work and I have examples of my mom and I and how much we have fought for our relationship. And it is insanely beautiful. And I have a team, Cami and Amanda, we do this so dang well together. And I will share these testimonies because this work works. And I have a dad that I haven't seen in years. So this doesn't work 100% of the time. And that's not because he's wrong and I'm right. And Dad, you should read my book. And no, it is because it's not mine. And so the only thing that I can do at the end of the day is stand before God and go, I will do everything you've asked me to do with the people you've put in my life. And that's all I can do. So I'm also coming from a place that there's these relationships in progress. There's some that will never meet the standard we want them to meet. All of us. And there we have a lot of pain and hurt and trauma and all of these things in these relationships. But this is first and foremost going to be the opportunity to get back into alignment with what it looks like for you to be real, all of you to be real in every interaction. We're not going to ask the world around us to be real. It's not ours. Now, do we want people to engage back in real relationships? Yes, please, because then peopling wouldn't be so dang hard. They're like, hey, I feel really stressed out in this moment, or I feel a lot of shame. You're like, thank you for telling me. I mean, that's in theory what a real relationship sounds like. A real relationship. I had one with Cami today. She's like, I feel really insecure in this moment. Great, because I feel kind of guilty and I feel like I'm condescending. I feel like I'm judging. You're like, yeah, that's amazing. Like now we know what we're dealing with here. Like it's amazing to be in those conversations. However, the goal of this month is not for everybody else to be real. The goal of this month is for you to be real. Real. What does real again mean? True. Calling you back. It's a prophetic posture that calls you back to be exactly who God created you to be, so that you can interact with the world around you exactly as she's called you to interact with the world around you. Not in shame or guilt, but also not in this self-righteous place. It's somewhere where you go, those things aren't even a thing. Now, what is our heart set? So if you remember, we talked last month, we had all these different sets. Here's our heart sets, because in order to move forward, we are going to need habits of the heart. Where is it? Habits of the heart. Where are we leaning into this month? 1 Corinthians 13, which all of us would go, oh my gosh, I've read that a million times, and I know this scripture, until we don't. So we're going to lean into 1 Corinthians 13, and we're going to read it and reread it in every version you can get your hands on. You know me, I love the Passion Translation. So it says the title, Love, the Motivation of Our Lives. I love this. This month will cause you to check your motivation all the time. That's what makes relationships also so interesting and convicting, is they cause us to like check our motives. I was actually just on a call with a client, and he was like, you know, I just did all these things for people this week and just nobody said thank you. I was like, what did you want? He's like, I just wanted someone to say thank you. I was like, then your motive was not pure. He was like, yes, it was. I just think that we live in a very entitled world. And I was like, that's calling the kettle black, bro. Why'd you do it? Because I love people. No, you don't. That's not love. He was like, I was like, it's true. If I do things now, in theory, if I give Skylar a present, do I want him to be like, oh my gosh, Julia, this is exactly what I wanted? Sure, cool. That would be awesome. Real relationships would probably do that. But if he doesn't, and I'm like, I can't believe he didn't respond, and I can't believe he didn't check my email, and I can't believe I didn't get 17 exclamation points in the text message back, then my motive was not pure. You know, I did it for the applause. I did it for the, oh my gosh, I love you so much, you're so good. Then my motive wasn't pure. So you guys, this is gonna be a convicting month, because you're gonna go, oh my gosh, my motives. Listen also what it says before I shift into habits, why we're gonna do habits of the heart, because it says 1 Corinthians 13. You know this, but I'm going to say it. If I were to speak with eloquence in earth's many languages and in heavenly tongues of angels, what does that mean? If I say all the right things, do all the right things, get it all the right way, and the world loves it. How many of you are if I could do it the right way, the perfect way? Oh yeah, I know. I'm not even going to call y'all names out, because I know exactly who you are. If I were to do it perfectly, yet I didn't express myself with love, my words would be reduced to the hollow sound of nothing more than a clanging cymbal. And if I were to have the gift of prophecy with a profound understanding of God's hidden secrets, and if I possess unending supernatural knowledge, hello, this is convicting for me. How many of us love the revelation of God? Like we're like, and we want to tell the whole world about the revelation of God. Yeah, that's me. I'm like a junkie. I was like, yeah, God, I love. All of a sudden I was like, yeah, but if you do that, and if you even have the greatest gift of faith that could move mountains, but have never learned to love, then I am nothing. Learned. I was like, I circled that word, because what does that imply? It means that I probably learned something about love that's gotten me to where I am, but is also probably the reason that I'm not where I want to be. And so you got to remember, in order to learn about love, it implies that I might have to unlearn what I think I know, so I can relearn the truth. So what is this month also? Probably an unlearning that was patterned by example of our experiences, our relationships, what we saw our parents do, what's modeled, what we've always done in our marriage. Like we've just always done that. I don't know. The modeling, the social media, the movies, like we actually learn how to do that. So this month is going to be an unlearning. And then it says, and if I were to be so generous as to give everything away I owned and offer my body to be burned as a martyr. This is all my people who give. Who are my givers? give, serve, give, serve, serve. You're like, oh, I love people all the time. I love that they say that, because then it says without the pure motive of love. This checks our motive. Am I doing it from love or for love? Am I doing it to get the thumbs up, or am I doing it because I can't not? So these three categories are so incredible, because you've got the people who just want to do it the right way. You have the people who are like living for the revelation. You got people who just want to give, serve. And all of them are being challenged, because if we're not doing it with a motive of from love, then I am nothing without it. I'm like already convicted. To be set on fire. So what does that mean? It means that we're going to have to recreate some habits of the heart in order to do this. So back to this visual. Habits of the heart. What is the first one? I'm gonna have to recognize, and I think Wendy hit on this, so this is a long way also to come back to her answer, is I have to take my heart. This is probably 2 or 3 months ago, we talked about this in the session, is I have to learn that as I am walking this out, awkward till awesome, right? Practicing love, practicing these principles, that in every moment of every day, sometimes 17 times a day, I have to be able to take my heart to God.